Hey guys, welcome to Expand to the Cloud Brokerage. Today I'm officially announcing that we got one of Rockstar coming on to eXp. I got Diego and his team of Rubik's Cube coming on as a eXp team member, a team leader. I'm really excited about this because I think I showed this opportunity to Diego about a year ago, right?
Yeah.
And you were like, no, Rummy, no, I'm happy. I'm good. I'm all right, man. But I wanted to share what I was sharing with everyone else, and the reason being is I always believe that tell me something about your company that you love, and I want to hear it. So as you know, David is here, still killing it. Diego, still killing it too. He does $145 million, 100 transaction, has 10 people on his team. And he just brought them over. Same thing for David. David, what are you hitting this year now?
So we are, I just looked year to date, we're I think right at 50 million.
Nice.
Year to date, we're August something. I want to say we're at like 128 transactions, somewhere in that ballpark with five agents.
Wow, powerful. Same thing for me. I'm up to 30 million. I should be hitting about 40 as well. Even though COVID now is taking a big turn, but our production is going up. We're expanding to Connecticut. But enough about us. We want to talk about Diego and his team, what he's doing. Why did he join? What is the story? So tell me, Diego. Tell me why you got into real estate in the beginning, and what do you look into eXp and what do you liked about it and why you chose to move over?
So I took my class when I was 8. I was actually in high school, about to graduate. I was 18 years old. Didn't do anything with the license, let the license lapse. Everyone told me I was crazy because I was able to get listings at that time, but my mind was somewhere else. I wanted to get to college. I was working at an auto body shop, became manager there for a little while. Then I started entertainment company. We took pictures at nightclubs, promoted nightclubs, did everything that had to do with promotions, brought it to a high level. It was at first a hobby and then became more of a job. Started hating it. And during that time, my dad passed away. I inherited some money. Didn't know what to do with it. I had a mentor at the time who I asked, hey, what should I do with this money? He said, get into investment. So my career first started with investment, going after, short sales, bank owned, any distressed property. In the mix of that, I ended up inquiring about 16 properties. I was in contract for 16 properties. At the same time, I was young. I was spending the money, going crazy, traveling. I thought I was going to make it back with the 16 deals. And those 16 deals died in 2 months. I had nothing.
Wow.
I had $1,500 in my bank account. I had to pay rent in a few days. At the same time, I was taking the real estate class during all this. Ended up passing it. Believe it or not, I was going to leave real estate. I started interviewing with Uber and all these other companies just because, I had to pay bills.
Right.
And my mentor at the time said, just make the phone calls. So I started making the phone calls, ended up getting someone that was a 2-year-old lead that inquired about a property for 120 grand. Ended up finding out he had a lawsuit for 750. I ended up showing him 3 properties. We went into contract in less than a week. We closed in 2.5 weeks, and I got 3%. And it changed my life. I said, this is the road that I have to take. I've always been an entrepreneur. So I knew in me it was there. And then I never turned back. I went through stages as a buyer's agent, listing agent, and then after a while, I started building my team. So a lot of stages, a lot of growth in the past since 2013. So that's 7 years. A lot of ups and downs. Just been a roller coaster, but it's always been kind of going up. And now with this new company, I feel like I am starting again.
Nice.
It's a new, like I have almost like butterflies almost. Like I want to know everything. Before I felt like, I was a top agent at that company, the previous company. So now I'm like, who am I competing? Who am I going to go after? How can I expand? And this is what's playing in my mind every single day. And this is what I've been looking for. I've been looking for something that I can take to an extreme level. And I know this is the beginning. So it's like, no one knows what's going through my mind.
Right.
But the thoughts are there. I mean, we've been talking about, hey, how can I expand to other countries? How can I get involved?
Let's take a step back for 1 second, right? So let's take a step back where you said, okay, I got into real estate. That changed my perception of, hey, I'm not looking back. I'm going to keep doing transactions. Then you went to the ladder like everybody else did, buyers, sellers. So, well, let's talk about, and I think that what's important, why you made the transition, okay?
Mm-hmm.
What I was a broker myself. I was with KW and Exits and G21. The value that was provided
Mm-hmm.
and the value that you're getting now already.
Mm-hmm.
How do you choose your brokerages? Before?
I mean, prior to eXp, I was only at one brokerage. I learned a lot. I can't talk bad about the brokerage. It just, my vision and my wants wasn't being met. And I think with eXp, the amount of growth that's been happening with the company, how I seen big brokerages, big team leaders moving over to eXp, it made me wonder, right? Like, what is it that, why is everyone coming over? And we did a transaction together, and I'm the type, like, I always like asking people questions just to see what I can learn. And I just pulled you aside. I know you were rushing. I was kind of rushing. We ended up being there an extra hour.
Yeah.
I was late to appointments, but I just wanted to know the information. That was the most important thing for me. And it wasn't even me asking about eXp. It was more, I saw that you had certain assistants, and I've been training assistants. And I always want to know how do you train your staff? And you were very helpful, even without even explaining to me the eXp model. And then I guess from talking to you, conversations came up and eXp came up. And then I started doing my research. I had 50 million questions for you. And the plan was to leave in December, but my old broker, I guess, noticed that I was gonna transition, and he made it go a little bit faster than I thought. But the experience with eXp so far has been great. Very helpful. It's difficult to transition your whole team into a company, and the amount of help and people and resources that reached out to us to kind of put us in back in place so we didn't skip a beat has been amazing.
Right. So taking that, what you just said too as well, and I think that I was just talking to somebody else right now, right before we got on, and it's like you want to be around like-minded people. I have an invested interest, and what you said before, hey, Rummy, what you're doing, what's happening, and how you're making this happen. I bug David all the time, and sometimes I bug other people because, again, that's who we are, and we always want to consistently learn. One of the things that I think that you're probably noticing right now is that when I joined, it was just, hey, let's hold hands together. Let's do this together instead of separate, right? Even though David and I were friends, we knew each other. After I joined eXp, it just became like he's my older brother now. That's like he's my older brother, and he's there for me. He's consistently like, Rummy, you're doing this wrong. You're doing this right. This is what you need to transition into, and it become this collaboration of a company coming together as one, so that way we could all succeed together. I know when I was with Keller, it was like, okay, I don't want to see you. You don't want to see me. Your presentation. What are you doing? Nobody want to kind of share. Same thing I experienced in Century 21 and Exit. The value wasn't there for us at that time, for me, and that's why I left and created my own company. And now I feel like so much value is added here. You know, so much more value is added. It was funny. I was just talking to someone else right now. He's like, you spent 2 hours with me here. Aren't you busy? I'm like, yeah, I'm busy. I'm really extremely busy. But we know now, because I have associated myself with people who are doing it at a high level, where they're teaching me, hey, okay, this is what you need to concentrate on. This is what you need to concentrate on. This is what you need to put into place. And even when David approached me with this, is that what value are we first providing to our agents, right? I mean, I was independent, and I knew at one point something is going to happen, and I couldn't consistently provide that value. And now, if I'm here, not here, it's like eXp is providing that value for everyone. So, which is really nice.
Yeah,
and listen, I do the same thing. Real quick, I mean, I'm constantly, it takes me back to 2009 when I said I went from an agent, a successful agent, to an owner, to a businessman in 2009. And it was because of the people that I was associated with, and I was asking questions, and I was hanging out with people that were where I wanted to be. Now, not everybody watching this video wants to sell 200 homes a year. I do, right? So, but not everybody does. So if you don't want to sell 200 homes a year, don't necessarily follow and do everything that I'm doing. Find somebody that's selling 20 homes a year, and you're only selling 5 or 6, and you want to learn how to do 2 a month. So find that person. Right then, so you gotta, and that's one thing about eXp is everybody is willing to help out, because when they grow, we grow. We're all tied together. So why the willingness for agents to help other agents? They're also helping themselves, even though they're helping these other agents, because the company is going to grow and be more successful. That's one of the reasons that I think that agents here are not just willing. Like, I was always kind of willing to share with people outside of Charlotte. I was not always willing to share with people inside Charlotte, because I'm a competitive guy. But now I'm eager to share, and there's a difference.
Yeah.
So before I was willing, right? If somebody called, I was willing. Now I'm looking at how can I bring value to the guy in Iowa that I've never met before that has a team. How can I bring value to that person? And that's something that you just scratched the surface with being over here just a week or so, and that I absolutely know that you're gonna love.
Mm-hmm. And even when we first started, and I know, and Diego has a big heart. He said, "Listen, I want my team to make the same amount of money." So I mean, we had that conversation. And you structured your structure right now, even with eXp, to actually providing more value for your team too as well.
Yes.
And I think that's one of the things that I think me and David always talk about it. Rummy, we're going to be good, but is my team's going to be good? Is my admin's going to be good? Whoever it might be in your organization, is your brokerage. So you want to touch on that, Diego, too?
Yeah. So. During the transition, my biggest worry was my team. Even before I even completely joined, I interviewed a few companies just to kind of see what was out there, and just the value that this company gives. It's almost like they allow you to be you, if that makes sense. To allow me to promote my team and bring value to my team and not just be eXp. You understand? And that's what made me realize this is the company for me, and for my team. Because now it allows the team to grow organically, if that makes sense. Where
No, it does.
I don't have to feel like, oh, he's going to be or she's going to be my competitor. It kind of like, hey, listen, do you want to recruit as well? Or do you want to grow a team? You do? Let me help you. You understand? And I didn't have that before. It was kind of, I was kind of put in a corner, was the number one agent in the brokerage, but wasn't allowed to let people know that, if that makes sense. And now I want my team to shine. Plus, if they want to create their own team, teach them all the steps that took me 3 years to learn in a few months. And that's what I think eXp has brought the value to me, where I can now speak to my agents like, hey, listen, being part of my team is not something that you have to do always. If you want to grow as an individual, you can do so. Because I don't want to be a person that holds anyone back. I don't, if someone wants to grow, if someone wants to become whatever they want to become, it's not my right to stop someone. So with this company and bringing the value that, hey, listen, as long as you're with eXp, I can help you and make you grow and teach you all the steps. I don't think there's anything out there like that.
One of the things that when you and I first met, I immediately knew this was a perfect fit for you. And because I've talked to a lot of other either one team owners that worked at a brokerage that had a team, or they had a small brokerage, which I almost said they just had a team. It was a brokerage, but it was really a team. There's maybe 5 of them, right? Mm-hmm. And when I would talk to them, it was all when they talked about, well, how is this going to affect me? Well, I won't make as much money off of their transactions. I want this. Well, what if they do? I immediately knew this was not a good fit for them, because they were me people. They were I people. They were I. What about me? How am I going to be affected? They weren't looking at how they could help their people. And one of the first things that I noticed about you was you were worried about your team and how it was going to affect them before you asked how it was going to affect you. So if you're out there and you're a person that wants to help other people, this is the place you need to look into. If you're an I person and you want to hold your team and your brokerage down until you change your mind, this might not be the best place. I mean, I've had a team for many, many, many years at different brokerages, owned my own brokerage, and I have seen many, many team owners have a team member leave and start their own, and they began to hate each other because they then saw themselves as competition. One, they were right-hand man, but when right-hand man goes out and creates his own company, now this guy all of a sudden doesn't like this guy anymore because they're competition. Here, that's just not the way it is. I want my best agent here to go off and create her own thing. I will help her. And that was one of the first things I noticed about you, and will continue to praise you for that, because not everybody thinks that way.
And one of the things that I think that I'm kind of realizing in this company now, it was more or less, it's about you. How can I provide you more services? How can I help you grow? How can I provide, you want to, like Rich reaches out to me. He's like, Rummy, how can I help you? What can I help you with, right? I mean, he's in the recruiting side. And it's mind-boggling to me because I get a text message from Keely sometimes, or Craig might even text message me, hey, how you doing? Just hanging in there. Let me know if you need anything. And again, it's about you. How can I provide you more value so that way you could grow, you could do more transactions, you could help your family. What can I do? So that has changed. I mean, before, I think I was in that boat. It was just all about me, my team. I'm doing this, I'm doing that. Now it's just, what can we do for you today? What can we do for you to help you grow and make things better in your life so that way your family could be more successful? And it's a chain effect. It becomes a chain effect, right? So which is pretty awesome. Anything else you want to share, Diego?
I would share this to any new agent, because a lot of people come into this industry and all they're worried about is commission, this commission. Obviously, you have to pay bills and you want to make the most that you can. But I would say, listen, find yourself a mentor within any brokerage you're in. Learn the fundamentals, learn the keys to be successful in real estate and have a longevity. I think people forget about that. They just want to make $1 million off of one deal. It doesn't work like that. You have to learn the steps. You have to learn to master each and every step so that you're always consistently making money in real estate. If it's something that you're coming here to, be part-time, then you're part-time. But if you want to be full-time and make a lot of money in real estate, the key is to learning the fundamentals of real estate. And taking the time and finding the right mentor to guide you through those steps. Even if you're splitting a certain percentage, it's worth it in the end, because eventually you can outgrow that and become a person where, I'm going to create my own team. I'm going to expand. I want to hit different markets, but it all starts from the fundamentals. It starts from the beginning, and it's learning, taking the time to learn and apply. And I think, that's just the key to real estate and any business you do. You might not make a lot of money in the beginning, right? You might struggle a little bit, but once you go through that learning curve, you just expand from it. You might be, hey, I want to do my first transaction, and then 2 years later, I have 10 people on my team. I want to go hit different markets. You never know where you can bring this, but it starts in the beginning. And that's what I really believe. And I think any agent that's listening to this, find yourself a mentor. Find yourself someone that you can, and people around you who are thinking big, because now you're open to conversation and they'll teach you things that you haven't even thought about.
Right.
I appreciate you guys, for bringing me into eXp. I know
I think you brought yourself to eXp.
I think that's true too.
He's just a perfect fit.
I've been looking and searching for something like this, and it was a big hit. Me leaving my last brokerage, because they were just more than just a brokerage; they were friends as well. But for me, my family, and my team, this was the best move for me. Yeah. And I know that the sky's the limit. And now I'm open to 50 states, Canada, Australia. I mean, why not? So right. It's just it opened up the possibilities of doing bigger and bigger things.
Yeah.
Well said, man. Well said. And again, guys, this is a prime example when you have somebody who's out there giving. He just explained to you about a new agent and what you need to be doing. And I think that your knowledge, what you have experienced right now, we could help you, any agent, if new, old, even, there's a big brokerage that's just signed up right now that coming into eXp, they're helping us even expand a little bit more. But Diego, man, welcome. Thank you for being on. Thank you, man, and we're excited about you and what you're gonna take this your team to, and we're here for you too as well. Thank you, guys.
Let's real quick. I just want to let Diego know, man. eXp is a better place because you're with us, man.
I appreciate it.
We're gonna do some great things together.
Be advised that the topics and contents discussed in this podcast are opinions intended as general information based on personal accounts and experiences by the hosts Rummy Dhanoa, David Upchurch and their guests. We recommend that listeners seek professional advice or research before making a business decision. This podcast is produced separately and independently from eXp Realty and is not sponsored or funded by eXp Realty.